Hey everyone, I'm Chris Hill. I'm here with Andy Cross, the Chief Investment Officer here at the Motley Fool. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And congratulations to you for starting this investing journey.
Wonderful.
At the Motley Fool, we're all about investing in stocks. Why do we love stocks so much?
Well, I think historically, Chris, if you look over long periods of time, equities, U.S. equities in general, but equities overall well outperform any other asset class, whether it's real estate, whether it's gold, whether it's cash, bonds. Long-term performance for equities is the way to go. And the way that we think about it at the Motley Fool is buying these businesses and being a long-term holder of the businesses, not just a short-term trader of the stocks. And that's a difference that we have with a lot of the other investing climate and the investing world out there, when the average active mutual fund is holding a stock for 8 months, maybe. And then you have all the day traders and all the algorithmic traders. We're really investing in these businesses for the long term, and we think that is the best way for individual investors to accrue investing gains for their future and for their family's future.
It's a pretty bold step to say, I want to invest in stocks on my own, because among other things, people are fighting against some of the myths that have really been perpetuated about investing in stocks. It's just like gambling. The math is too hard, and you can't do this yourself.
Yeah, and financial planners for years in Wall Street and other large institutional firms have had that
They've benefited
philosophy.
from those myths.
They've benefited from those myths and keeping costs very high and very obtuse reasoning and logic. And we think that's just that's folly. And the Motley Fool, we've been doing this for well more than 20, 25 years. And helping individual investors understand they can take control of their own financial future. They can invest, especially in today's world, Chris, where it's so easy to open a brokerage account, an online brokerage account. The trading costs are so low. Being a long-term investor and buying these companies that we know, that so many of us know and follow and use the products every day, companies that have added immense value to society and to investors and shareholders' pocket wallets and pocketbooks for so many years. So yes, there are myths out there that it is like, oh, it's just trading, it's gambling. The way to do it is to invest in really cheap penny stocks and just hold them for a couple of days and trade them. And that is just absolute bonkers and not the way you want to think about investing. But the beauty of this is using Motley Fool principles. Individual investors can invest soundly. They can invest for their family's future. They can invest well. And furthermore, they can have a lot of fun being on this investing journey, as you kicked off our little talk here today, that it really is a fun adventure to be on. And we love that for individual investors.
For the guy or gal who's watching right now and is about to get started, we're very excited. We got a lot to dig into when it comes to learning about investing. You've been investing for a couple of decades. What's one thing you learned on your journey as an investor that you can pass along?
Well, Chris, nobody is perfect. I mean, certainly not me. No investor is perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We all do. If you look historically at the batting average of market-beating stocks and market-beating investors, if you are getting 5 or 6 out of 10 that are beating the market, you're doing really well. And furthermore, a few of your stocks are going to drive the majority of your gains. Warren Buffett has said this. Other investors have said this. We've certainly learned this here at Motley Fool, investing for more than 2 decades, as you mentioned. So you want to be able to be a very patient buyer and holder of those securities. You want to own a diversified bunch of those. Some of them are not going to work out, and that's the nature of that. Some of them will, and those ones that do are going to build the bulk of your gains over time. So you really want to be a patient investor. It's been a journey of mine that I've learned coming from being more of a person who may be more value-centric, willing to trade, not day trade, but maybe take some gains here and take them off the table, and trying to find those businesses that are going to last for 5, 10 years, even more. Those are the ones that are going to drive the bulk of your returns, and they're really fun to find. We'll miss some of them, but we're going to make a lot of them too.
All right, Andy Cross, Chief Investment Officer, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Chris.
Let's get started.